Hi, and welcome to this demonstration and walkthrough of the ShieldMyKids system. ShieldMyKids is managed via an online portal at manage.shieldmykids.com. Simply type in manage.shieldmykids.com into your web browser, and you will access it using your username, which is your email address, and the password that you have supplied at registration time. You will have received an email to complete your registration and prompting you to enter a password. Simply enter your email address and password, and you're logged into the ShieldMyKids management portal. When we're logged in, we are presented with a number of different options. Those are Dashboard, Groups, Limits, History, and Settings. Those 5 are the main elements that we're interested in. When we log in, we're presented with the dashboard screen, and this shows us the status. ShieldMyKids operates using 2 separate but integrated systems. The first is a Wi-Fi router that we provide for your home, and the second is an application that gets installed onto your kids' mobile phones if they are using those mobile devices outside of the home. Outside of the home, the mobile application controls access to the internet and access to the types of sites that your kids can visit. Within the home, we provide you with a Wi-Fi router that creates a new Wi-Fi network throughout your home. This covers any device within the home, such as mobile phones, tablets, TVs, and gaming devices such as Xboxes, PlayStations, and Nintendos. It also covers your Internet of Things devices such as heating systems, internet-connected fridges, and washing machines. In fact, anything that you need to get control over and anything that you need to view the history of or where they're connecting to. Within the dashboard screen, the status box shows us whether the ShieldMyKids Wi-Fi router is plugged in, powered on, and connecting to the ShieldMyKids cloud. It's also quite useful in terms of alerting you if your internet connection goes down, because if it loses connection to the internet, within 15 minutes, you will receive an email alerting you to the fact that something has occurred with the Wi-Fi router. So, either power has gone down, your internet connection has gone down, or someone has unplugged the internet Wi-Fi router. The second box shows any devices that are missing limits or control. The third box shows the number of devices that are connected to your account at the moment. The fourth box shows the latest device that was added to your account. Below that, under the list of connected devices, we can see the number of devices that are connected and which groups they're currently assigned to. We currently have 2 devices that are connected to the guest group and 1 device connected to the Internet of Things group. We also have some devices under the Kids 0 to 10 years group. From this screen, we can choose to pause a specific device's internet access. We can see whether this device is protected at all times or not, and we can see this device's specific history as well. The next screen is Groups. Within Groups, we define 1 or more groups, and we assign devices to groups. Why do we do this? Well, it's easier to group multiple devices together into a single group and then apply a single policy to all of those devices. We can have multiple groups, and each of those groups can have their own policies applied. These can be time schedules and/or they can be the types of websites that are visited. By default, the system always has a guest group. Any new devices that connect to your Wi-Fi network or that connect via the mobile application to your account are always assigned to the guest group the first time. From that point on, you can assign them to any other group that you want to create or that has been created already. When ShieldMyKids configures your account for you, you will typically have the guest group and the kids group. You can then create any other group that you deem appropriate. In this case, we have the Kids 0 to 10 years group, and we have 3 devices within this group. These are Avril's iPhone, the kid's computer, and Sam's tablet. The kid's computer and Sam's tablet are currently not connected. They're probably switched off at the moment, but Avril's iPhone is definitely connected because that's showing up as green. Under the Internet of Things group, which I've created to suit my needs, we have the home heating system which connects to the internet via Wi-Fi. In this manner, I can actually see exactly where this device is connecting to, when it's connecting, and I can also disconnect it from the internet if I want to. We also have 2 other devices that have recently been added. Those are Shane's Note 9 and an Xbox One. They've been automatically added into the guest group. What we're going to do now is we're going to separate these. In the first instance, we have a child called Shane. I'm going to create a new group for Shane. We'll have gaming devices as well within the home. I can create a new group called Gaming Devices. Under Gaming Devices, I'm simply going to drag and drop my Xbox One into the Gaming Devices group, and I'm going to drag and drop Shane's Note 9 into Shane's group. This means that I can create and manage limits for each of these groups and for all of the devices within those groups. By clicking on the triple bar icon, I have various other options. Within a group, I can choose to pause the internet for all of those devices. I can choose to rename the group. I can choose to delete the group, and I can choose to manage the limits for that specific group. I can also click on a specific device within a group, and I can pause the internet for that device. In this case, Avril's iPhone is now paused. So Avril, no matter where she is, at home, at school, at a friend's house, the internet on her device is now paused. I can also rename that device. So I can rename it Avril's phone, and I can also change the group. I can at the same time view more information about that device. We now have 5 groups: the guest group, gaming devices, Internet of Things, kids, and Shane. Let's look at how to apply limits to those devices. Under Limits, we select the group that we're interested in. We're going to select the Kids 0 to 10 years group. And within this group, we have some limits and time schedules that are all already defined. In this instance, we're saying that anything that's red has the internet blocked setting applied. So typically from 9 p.m. to 7 a.m., the internet is blocked, except for Fridays and Saturdays because the kids are off school. They don't have anything to get to the next day. So we might be able to extend the internet access until 10 p.m. on Fridays and Saturday nights. But come Sunday nights, they have to get to school the next morning. They need to go to bed a little earlier or at their standard times. So from 9 p.m., the internet is blocked all the way until 7 a.m. the next morning. We also have another group called Homework. So wherever you see the purple time period applied, it means these are the hours kids have just come home from school. They need to be doing and focusing on their homework. So we're going to apply specific restrictions to those hours. The default, which is the blue, is the section where we can define when we're allowing internet access under normal times. What restrictions are we actually applying? So we're going to click on Default, and again, this applies to the kids group. Under Restrictions, we're going to say we want to restrict by category, or we can restrict by the list of sites that we have conveniently been provided. This is just a subset of the millions of sites that are within the database itself. You can do restrict by sites, but it's far easier to restrict by categories. There are 11 categories within ShieldMyKids. Each category has hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of individually categorized websites. So simply by selecting certain categories, we can enforce controls immediately. What kind of categories would we normally be selecting by default? Those are, for example, dating, if the kids are young enough, drugs, gambling, pornography, proxies, threats. Those are the default sites or categories that we block when we ship the system out to you, and when we configure your account for you. You can configure this however you want to, either yourself or contact us at ShieldMyKids via our support portal, and we will make those changes for you. In this case, during normal internet allowed hours, we're allowing games, search engines, shopping, social media, and sport. Let's assume that your child has a problem with Fortnite as a game. And remember, we're still allowing the gaming category during default hours, but Fortnite has become a problem. So, we're going to select Fortnite, and that's going to be added to a list of restrictions. Another common problem is YouTube. We find that kids as young as 5 and 6 years old are spending far too much time on YouTube. You can simply select YouTube and click on So, Fortnite and YouTube, even during normal allowed hours, are now being blocked. To remove an item from the category or from the list of sites, we simply click on it and it's removed. So in this case, although gaming sites are allowed, Fortnite specifically is now being blocked. We can also enforce exceptions. So for example, there are certain sites that are being blocked by categories such as gambling. Yet you may want to allow a specific site within that category to be allowed. In this case, we're looking at the National Lottery website for Ireland, lottery.ie. Perhaps you may allow your kids to visit the National Lottery website to check your winning numbers on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. in which case we simply select URLs and enter the URL or the name of the actual website itself. Further down, we have some other options. For example, Safe Search. ShieldMyKids integrates with Google and Bing search engines. This means that when a child or anybody, in fact, types a search into Google or Bing search engines, it will not and it should not present any adult-related material. We also integrate with YouTube restricted mode. YouTube categorizes videos on their platform in terms of content and suitability. YouTube restricted mode interacts with those ratings and restricts access to videos on the YouTube platform that are deemed not applicable for children. The third option is to block unknown traffic. So any traffic to websites that are not within the database will be blocked in that case. You can also view the history of these devices. So if we go into the history section, we can see which websites were allowed or which websites were blocked. Anything with a black background has been blocked. It shows us the domain that was being accessed, the group that the device belongs to, which device it is, and when that access was actually allowed or attempted. We can click on a history item such as LinkedIn.com, and it will provide us with information as to why this website was actually allowed or blocked. So on a specific date and specific time, LinkedIn was accessed by the device named Shane's Note 9. It was in a specific group called Shane, and the default limit was enforced. This provides you with sufficient information to then go ahead and make a change to your web filtering or parental control policy. It also gives you information about that specific site. So, LinkedIn.com falls under the category of social media, and we also provide you with the option of recategorizing the website if necessary or applicable, or to choose, for example, to block this website while a specific or the default limit is active for that specific group. We can also block this website for multiple groups. That covers the dashboard, groups, limits, and the history. And this is literally all you require in order to manage your ShieldMyKids system. By creating groups and by assigning limits to individual groups or even to individual devices and assigning schedules for those devices, one can gain a far greater degree of internet control, parental control, and protection for your kids on the internet. I hope this has been useful for you. Please check out www.shieldmykids.com or shieldmykids.ie for Ireland. Click on our demo links if you would like a one-to-one demo with a cybersecurity consultant. Email us or hit our chat button on the website to contact us. Thank you very much for viewing and listening to this video.